I want to go back to that Manny Pacquiao card. This is Brandon Figueroa, former world champion, versus Joet Gonzalez, who has fought for multiple title opportunities. He lost to Shakur Stevenson. He lost to Manuel Navarrete. And this was an unbelievable fight. Now, you always know what you're going to get with Brandon Figueroa. He's going to come forward, he's going to be on your chest, and he's going to bang the body all night long. But he did have a new trainer, Manny Robles, coming into this fight. It's the first time he fought in his professional career without his father in his corner. I thought there might be some changes, some adjustments, maybe see a little something different from him. And that was not the case. It was the same Figueroa. Great fight, great action. I thought Gonzalez was in control. I thought he was out hustling the guy who out hustles everybody in Figueroa. I thought he was landing the cleaner shots, the bigger, more effective punches. And with that being said, Figueroa, what he does to most people, he started to wear him down some. He started to fade, Gonzalez did, in the late rounds. I thought the late rounds were taken by Figueroa, but Gonzalez had a big enough lead. I thought he was the winner. If you want to make this fight a draw, okay. I have a problem with the 116-112 by two referees that we keep talking about, Sutherland and Cheatham, over and over again. But I want to hear from you, bud. What'd you think of this fight, and what'd you make of the decision in the end?
I can't be strong. I was strong a few weeks ago. I'll do it again until we get a national commission. I could go to the national czar and say, if you don't want this marvelous sport to continue to be disintegrated and chopped away at and just, broken down and just fans to leave, if you don't want that to happen, you have to do something about the judging. You have to hold them accountable. You have to really question when there's a questionable decision. You have to suspend them. You have to fire them sometimes. But you have to stop ignoring the problem. They can't be working a week later after they did something that is very questionable. This did not get enough attention because there was so many fights that drew the attention on Saturday. It deserves more attention. It's getting it from us, from the fight with the two Teddy Atlases. We're going to make sure we don't forget the little guys. We don't forget anybody. To what my son said, you know what you're going to get when you get Figueroa. All-out attack, relentlessness, tough kid you love. I love him. You love to watch him. He never stops. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's like Matias, another guy that I love. He never stops throwing punches. But if you didn't know Gonzalez, which you probably didn't, or not enough people did, except the real boxing fans, he is the same thing. You know what you're going to get. I've seen enough of his fights to know this is what he brings every time. That is what Gonzalez, he does what Figueroa does. He sets up in the kitchen and he goes to eat. He gets in your living room, he ain't leaving. He gets in the trenches, he gets dirty. That is Gonzalez, like Figueroa. He fought fire with fire. You had two. I mean, like my son said, Figueroa brings the fire. Gonzalez, he said, I'm going to bring the fire too. I'm just going to make my flames a little bit brighter. I'm going to make them a little higher. I'm going to turn that octane up a little. I'm going to sprinkle a little barbecue fluid, a little bit of that flammable fluid on the flames and make them burn. Make them burn. And he burned. He burned. I agree with my son 100%. Maybe the first two rounds took him a minute to get going. But then he got going. He won all those middle rounds. He was ahead in his fight. He was fighting fire with fire. I thought he was landing the more consequential, the harder, cleaner, better placed punches. Figueroa was right there like he always is. I say it again. I love the guy. Love everything about him. He was right there. But Gonzalez, I thought was, again, the better placed punches in spots. The more effective, the more impactful punches. His fire, his flames were a little bit hotter than Figueroa's. I didn't think that was possible, but they were until the end. like my son said, the last 3 rounds, all that pressure start to wear down Gonzalez, like Figueroa depends on. That's part of his fight plan. That's part of what he does. That's part of what makes him Figueroa and what's made him a world champion, where he wears you down, he breaks you down, and he wore Gonzalez down a little bit. The last 3 rounds, for sure, he won. But I thought Gonzalez had enough in the bank from those middle and later rounds before the championship rounds to be ahead, and ahead enough to survive the onslaught coming down the stretch. I thought if he didn't win the fight, I thought he won it. But if he didn't win the fight, make it a draw if you wanna. But don't do what these guys did. And again, I started by saying I want a national commission. I've said this too many times. When are we gonna get it? But Sutherland and Cheatham, they would be the first guys called into the office on Monday if a national czar came in and said, I'm going to start investigating this sport. I'm starting to look at the things that Teddy Atlas talked about and a lot of other people talked about. I'm going to start, and that a lot of fans talk about, that they're leaving the sport because of the bad judging and officiating. I'm going to start to look at it. And the 2 guys I would say to you, sir, whoever you are, I would say, sir, it might be a good place to start with a guy named Sutherland and a guy named, yes, sir, I'm not making this name up. What is the name, Teddy? Cheatham. Wait a minute. You're telling me in your business in boxing, there is a judge named Cheatham? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That Richie's like this right now. Like Richie don't know. This is real. He thinks it's just Teddy Atlas doing one of my things, where I'm fooling around, I'm kidding. No. That's his real name. And Mr. Cheatham, we don't want no more cheating. We don't want no more cheating. We don't know if you've been cheating or not, but we're going to look at it. There's been a lot of reports coming on you. A lot of reports. And we're looking into it now. We're taking these reports very serious. No more like the old days where you go work again next week. No. You take it easy for a while. You had a vacation planned that you haven't done for a while with your family. Take the vacation. While you're on vacation, we're going to look into this a little bit. We're going to do our checking, our due diligence. We're going to look at past fights. We're going to do what we got to do. And we'll get back to you. But in the meantime, go on vacation. There's no need for you to be showing up at ringside. Not for a while. And the same thing with Sutherland. Too many bad decisions on their watch. Too many. I'm sorry. I had to put it that way. I feel bad for this Gonzalez. He's fought twice for a world title, and here he is. He's giving it his all. He ain't getting no younger. He's starting to get up there. And his style, it takes a lot out of you. Just like Figueroa's style takes a lot out of you. I'd like to see this guy. He earned the right to get treated properly. And he was not treated properly the other night.
Absolutely. You want to make it a draw? I'm with you. I thought Gonzalez won. Make it a draw. But 8 rounds to 4? No way. Can't happen. Didn't happen. And you talk about a pure phone booth fight. This obviously was it. I just think what you said with Matias, and the lack of durability, the shelf life of a fighter of that style. Figueroa is only 28 years old, but I think he landed 3 jabs the whole entire fight. He's going to have to be taught to change that style a little bit, that you are allowed to throw the jab. You can fight on the outside too.
Yeah, and he's tall and he's long. He's got good length. That's the funny thing about it. He's got great length. You're right. He could make it a little easier, give himself a little bit of a dimension. There's no doubt about that. Not at all. But how when you were a kid you hated spinach? You hated, yeah, come on, we'll let secrets out. We're letting a few family secrets out. Yeah, we are, Rich. You hated spinach. Well, Figueroa looks at jabs the way you looked at spinach. I mean, he's just like, for what? For what? Take that off the plate. Just take that off the plate. Last thing, bud, thank you for finishing with what you said. It's a cliche, it's a phrase, it's a title, but it's so true. How many times have you heard, you've heard me say it a lot too, phone booths fight. If there's people out there that are not familiar with what the definition of that really is, what that's supposed to illustrate, watch this fight. That is a phone booth fight.